Welcome back to MomCom, the podcast for moms who are navigating the lonely, overwhelming, unspoken reality of motherhood. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Shannon. On today's episode, we're joined by Renee Smith, the founder of Subtle and Sass, a brand built on confidence, individuality, and community.
What started as a love for fashion became something much deeper. Renee helps women reconnect themselves and remember that it's not about what you wear. It's about how it makes you feel. Renee, we're so excited to have you here to share your story. I have been a big fan of your store ever since I moved here. I think I got some style boxes.
So when was that? When did you move here?
2020.
Okay.
Yeah. So just learning more about your story is incredible. So why don't you take us back to the beginning and kind of how you grew up?
Okay. Well, I loved everything fashion growing up. I was on the pageant scene.
I love
toddlers and tiara style. I mean, the big dresses, all of that. I even went to Little Miss Arkansas. And my grandmother made all of my dresses. She had the caboodle. She'd pull it out, had all the makeup and the costume jewelry. And it was like our thing because I was a country girl. I mean, grew up in a trailer park with chickens. And so that was like my escape into this fantasy world. But then I realized, I think in high school, I was actually a Russian exchange student, and I went to Russia, and I loved their fashion. So for a little bit, for about a month or so, I loved their fashion so much. And then I came back to my little Arkansas town, and I was dressing in my, latest Russian gear, and I got made fun of so badly that I realized that even though I was so empowered in my outfit, it mattered a lot what other people were thinking. I let that get to me, right? And I started realizing then, oh man, this hurts to feel that way. And then I worked in a dress shop with a bunch of older ladies who I steamed dresses for the pageant scene. And so it was kind of like a Steel Magnolias, like cheers, where everyone came in and everyone knew your name. And these ladies just made these women feel so beautiful. And I'm like, I really loved that feeling. So, but it wasn't a real career to me. That didn't seem possible. So I became a teacher instead for a while until I came back around eventually.
So what was your big dream then? And how did you go from that to, I'm going to be a teacher, get married, settle down?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, I think there is this dream that we carry sometimes from even when we're young, like going to New York and like Project Runway style. And just, I loved diversity. I loved everything about what creatives had to offer. But the reality of the situation is my mom was a nurse. My dad was a lawyer. It's very practical. That is not a practical dream. You have to get a real job. And so I loved children. I mean, I loved children, and I thought, oh, teaching, we'll do that. And I'll get married and have kids. And I kind of, stuffed that little big dream I had into a little box, and I forgot about it. I really truly forgot about that dream until many, many years later when my kids were born.
And so you have 2 kids.
I have 2 kids, yes.
Your daughter?
Yep, my daughter's 13 now. And so I decided to stay home from teaching when she was born and pour my entire self and world into being a mom. And it did feel really good. You pour yourself into something so much until you realize there's nothing left, and who am I and what is this? And then I remember when I was pregnant with Colin, who's my second, who's 10 now, I was lonely, I was sad, and I had a million people around me, but I was incredibly lonely.
Oh my goodness.
And I was in a not so happy marriage also. It was really, really tough. So it really gives meaning to lonely in a crowded room. And I needed something for myself. My ex-husband would say, get a hobby, but I didn't feel like I had the time or the money for the hobby.
Right.
I mean, he did whatever he wanted, he had lots of hobbies. And I had so much of the burden of being this great mom for my kids all the time. I didn't know what I liked or what I wanted. And I got invited to a dress party LuLaRoe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this MLM.
I have not heard of this. Have you heard of
Oh,
it?
yeah. Oh, yeah. It was very big.
There is a documentary on Amazon Prime and about this.
It's unbelievable.
It's like a pyramid scheme type thing. All of it's true. I was at every single one of the events in the documentary. I will say there were some amazing things about that experience. Obviously, it got me here, but it also was quite the ride. I mean, it was a roller coaster ride. But to start back, I went to a dress party. It was basically like Tupperware parties.
Okay.
At people's homes. So, but with clothing.
You know those leggings that had all the different patterns and all the things? Anyway.
The crazy leggings. Yes.
I think I do.
Yeah.
That was...
So women would bring it's like a trunk show to someone's house, all these dresses and leggings and then you get invited. And so I went with people I didn't know. And I remember us all trying on these dresses and I didn't know the other women there, but we were bonding and connecting and feeling really good about ourselves and, put on that dress and it looked really good. And I have a picture of myself in this dress that I remember feeling beautiful for the first time in so long when I put that dress on. And I was like, hey, wait, that's me. That's me. Like I haven't dressed up. I haven't felt good about myself in a while. And it just, something reminded me of my 16-year-old self again in that dress shop with those older ladies and just the feeling that they gave to people. And I was like, I was hooked. I was hooked on helping women get that feeling again and find themselves again. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. And so I think, but that was 2016?
That was, 2015. 2015 is when we started LuLaRoe.
So if we can, just taking a little bit of a step back. So you explained how you got from this childhood and kind of it sounds, the voice in your head when you're a kid is not always your own, right? It's our parents. And that's for most of us, I think.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then as you said, so you became a teacher, you got married, you had 2 kids, you poured everything into being a mother, which resonates so much.
Right.
And I know, there's the moment of your marriage. You mentioned your ex-husband.
Right.
And I'm sure, in that marriage, like you said, get a hobby, do this, but it's just not that simple all the time. So there's another voice in your head that's not always yours.
Right.
Then you have this moment, but can you talk to us a little bit about kind of the birth of Subtle and Sass? But I think there's those moments before, right? So this 2015 big, powerful moment for you of feeling the way you just described.
Right.
But what did it take then to act? Because it's not, it's not like you have this moment and then the next day something totally shifts. It takes time.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'd love to hear a little bit more and appreciate you being so open and sharing this part of your story.
Well, when I found that feeling that LuLaRoe and then I started selling these dresses and creating these experiences for women on my own, I realized how much I loved that. And I poured myself into that business just as if it was my marriage. It gave me everything I needed. I mean, just to feel needed, to feel that somebody really cares about what I'm doing and the impact that I'm making at other people. It fed my soul to a whole different level. And then I realized I don't think I have ever been this happy or just sustained in any other from my childhood or, my marriage or anything like that. And so it's the catalyst for that, for finding my own voice and understanding, well, what is it that I love? What is it that makes me happy? And is it okay to claim that? Like, is it okay to take what makes me happy and not feel guilty about it? Because my whole life, everything I wanted, it didn't seem to matter to the people.
Right.
It did matter to the people around me, but they had their ideas for what I should be.
Let's take a quick break.
To our local Charleston listeners, you're going to want to hear this. Bloom is a one-day conference on March 14th for women who just need space to breathe, to step away from the noise of everyday life and be reminded of who they are in Jesus. So many of us spend our days pouring into everyone else, and Bloom is simply a day where you get to be poured into. Through worship, encouraging teaching, and time spent in community,
Their hope is that you leave feeling refreshed, restored, and deeply reminded that you are seen and loved by God. You don't have to have everything together to come. Just come as you are. If that sounds like something that your heart needs, you can grab your ticket over at bloomconferencellc.com. Remember, that's on March 14th, and you can get your ticket on bloomconferencellc.com.
And that's such a huge statement, because that is how I think most human beings are.
Like, if you have an idea and it's a big idea.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that, because we come from a place of being in fear.
Exactly.
Fear of the unknown. No, don't move away from your family.
Right.
No, don't start that podcast. Oh, everyone has a podcast. You know, like, there's so many voices that we say to ourselves. Like, these are things I said to myself.
Right.
And then once you kind of step back and just kind of remember the thought was put there for a reason.
That little spark. Yeah.
That is there for a reason.
Right.
And I believe you're being guided.
And, you know, you can't blame those people in a way, because they're humans living their human experience, and they sometimes really do only want the best for you. And they're talking to you out of their own fear.
Right.
And not what you know you're capable of.
Right. I think it is. People unintentionally dim your light.
Right.
Thinking that they're guiding you in a better way, because they, again, not out of ill will or anything negative, but it's, you know, you mentioned that you would kind of put that dream in a box. And I think it's the reality for a lot of people is that box gets buried. And
Absolutely.
I feel like it's incredible that you were able, I mean, you had to go through a lot to find it, but you were able to reignite that spark in a way that's turned into something truly amazing.
And honestly, it did at some point. I unburied that box in a way that, because it did become about survival at one point. It became about having to pivot. It came about having to make sure I could stay in my home with my kids. I mean, we mentioned my story a little bit earlier about, there was at one point where I knew that my marriage was not working. It was not going to be a safe situation. I had to, you know, I had to get out with me and my kids, and I had to survive. I had to make a living, and I did not want to go back to teaching. That I knew that this was my calling. I knew that it was what I was supposed to be doing with my life. But how could I make this thing where I had so much fear? But I knew that I had to, where there's a will, where there's a way, right? And if I just hustled, if I just made it work, then I could overcome those challenges. You know, I went through a 2-year divorce. I mean, it's not cheap to get divorced. And during COVID at that. So I was doing what I could. And I knew that if I gave my all to what I loved, that I would be sustained. And here we are several years later, when I took that leap to not go back into teaching, but to follow this hobby, this dream, you know, that it would pay off, and it really has.
It's so courageous to take that leap and then to see where you are now.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really inspirational. It really is. I mean, I think about everyone has such different experiences and challenges, and sometimes we feel stuck. I have felt stuck. Like, how do we get to do something more? I'm here for something bigger, but you're raising these children, and how do you, not feel guilty about that?
And it's just one step. That's the thing. Like, I just do one step. And then also, I would say there was this urge, like you said, this calling, there was this urge that I was meant for this. And there was a real pivotal moment in my life during my divorce that I think was shown to me as a very clear picture of what I need to do in this life for other women. And that was, there was a moment where my ex-husband, we were able to split, and I had not been in my own home for several days. I hadn't slept in several days. I hadn't showered in several days. I was in survival mode, right? And I had the opportunity to go back into my house and go into my restroom or go into the bathroom, and I have these big mirrors there. And I was scared to look at myself. I was really scared to look because I thought I was going to look like hell warmed over, honestly.
Mhm.
And when I walked up to the mirror and I looked in my eye, at myself in the mirror, I looked beautiful. And I can still see it in my eyes today. It's not like I'm being, bragging or anything. It was a light emanating out of me that was not my own. It was something more powerful saying, you did it. Like, you did it. And you are worthy and you can do this. And I just want that for so many women. I would say at that moment, for the next couple of years, it was very, very hard. And I wouldn't say necessarily that I loved myself, but I said that was the moment where it began, where now I can confidently say, I love myself 100%. And how many women can you ask that and say, do you love yourself? Do you truly love yourself? And can you say, hell yes, I love myself?
Right.
Very few. And that is my goal in this world, is to help more and more women look at themselves in the eyes and say, I love myself and I can do it. And I'm proud of myself. So that,
I
just do it through clothes. But I do it through more, but I think the clothes is just the boutique is the entry point for that.
It was the start.
It was the start. Yeah.
And I would say it's not just, right? You said I just do it.
Yeah.
Through
Oh, we say that, don't we? Just.
Don't say just.
Don't say
because
just.
It's so powerful what you just shared. And honestly, it gives me goosebumps, tears. I'm feeling like it's truly amazing that you can pinpoint these critical moments in your journey that have empowered you over and over again. And you could not, I hope you give yourself that credit of how, because it's fair. Your situation was very challenging and you chose, you had the emotional labor of two people that were relying on you too. That's hard. That is so hard to actually have the courage, because the easier and would have made sense, nobody would have faulted you if you went back to teaching because that was safe and comfortable, but you pushed. And I feel like that's such a powerful message. But I have to share something with you very quickly, because at Subtle and Sass, at one of your events, I met a woman and we were having a great conversation. And she said to me, I hope Renee knows what an impact she has on women. And I said, tell me more. And she said, when you were doing the boxes, and we'll get into sort of what happened with COVID and all of that. She said, I was a different size then, and I never felt beautiful. I never felt good when I looked in the mirror. I never felt good enough. She said, and Renee styled me and showed me ways that I could. She said, and I looked in that mirror and I felt beautiful. And she was, it was, and it's just amazing because it's such a powerful moment, because you're saying that was, you want women to love themselves. And she said, I'll never forget that moment. She said, my size has changed so many different times, but I feel beautiful and I feel confident and I feel like I love myself. So I just have to reinforce, because you're doing exactly what you dreamt of.
Well, and the thing too is I truly see you as beautiful. And I think when women are in my styling appointments and I'm working with them, and I truly see them as beautiful. So when I'm telling you, this looks beautiful on you and this is how, and oh my gosh, you were amazing. You look so good. I'm not saying that to fluff them up. I really feel that. I really see the beauty in each person that I'm with. And so I hope that, and that helps me feel reassured that they are feeling that energy and that love also.
They are.
And you're so genuine and authentic. I think that when people are just saying things,
you do.
You're so big on energy and feel, people feel that.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a real gift.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And it came out in your styling boxes, and then Subtle and Sass, and more, and SWELL. And I can't wait to share with them kind of your journey, and starting with the style boxes and how that transformed into something bigger and still going.
Yeah.
You've got more to do. So
but I couldn't imagine. When I started the boutique out of my house in a little bedroom. My kids were toddlers at the time, and I had this little bedroom that I had put racks in, and And people found me by telling their friend of a friend, hey, text this number. And,
Yeah.
and so it was really like underground, to come shop
Right.
at my house. And it was a way I could still be with my family, but yet make an income. And I was so excited to actually get my own little space up. It was like a children's play center called Skip and Sully. It was like a play place.
Mm.
And I was able to rent their room upstairs for
Okay.
month to month. Well, I moved in January and then COVID hit in March. So I opened my first brick and mortar. It was tiny. It was about 200 square feet. It was like not much bigger than the bedroom I was in. But right after that, COVID hit. So I had to like rewind back into the house. But no one was shopping. People were not buying clothes. We were COVID. Nobody knew what was happening.
Right.
Because I was going through the divorce, I had to make money. I had to figure it out. And because I was a teacher before, I relied on my teaching and my daughter was going into second grade at the time. So I decided to teach a pod of students in my home. So the boutique room became a classroom.
Wow.
Pivot. And we reinvent over and over again. And for a year, I solely focused on teaching this pod of students, but it was really amazing because I did love teaching, but it was a cool way to do it. And this, but then after that year, the world started opening up again. People were doing Zoom calls. People were wanting to like kind of see each other a little bit more. And I had to decide, was I going to go back to teaching or was I going to kind of give into this? So I started dropping off. I had all these clothes that I was still doing some buying and things. And so I started dropping off style boxes. So I would teach in the morning and then I would pack 5, 6, 7 style boxes in the afternoon and just put my kids in the back and we would drive all over town, dropping boxes off at people's front doors. And it was like a gift. I mean, we were so isolated during that time. And if you open your front door and there's this beautifully packaged, like, clothing and accessories and that I hand curated for you, it made people feel really amazing. So that just took off. I think we did over 800 style boxes in 1 year because it was just taking off. But then at the end of that year, I had to decide, do I want to get a warehouse and really focus on style boxes? Or do I want to open up a brick and mortar boutique? The very hard thing was the brick and mortar boutique. I mean, the money to open up a brick and mortar, not knowing if it worked. Everyone loved style boxes, but I didn't love that. And you probably know why, because I didn't get to have this interaction with people in person that I craved so much. I was dropping something off and I never saw you. And I mean, so I decided, you know what, we'll still offer style boxes, but I'm going all in on a boutique, on the brick and mortar. And I'm so glad I did because I get to work with women one-on-one all the time, get to see their faces when they come into the store. And I get to create that feeling that I felt when I was 16 working in that dress shop. So
was there ever a time while that was happening and you were opening the store? That is really scary.
yeah, oh, yeah.
How did you overcome those emotions? Because I'm sure that they surface like unknown, but you had to keep going forward.
Right.
And to have that responsibility as a single mom with 2 kids,
right?
Your home, a store, you have to have that blind faith.
Yeah.
That this is going to work.
Right. I will say, I mean, I was diagnosed with a learning disability as a child, language processing, which means I just couldn't figure things out as a kid. It was really hard. I made D's and C's and it was really, really tough. I had to work 10 times harder than everyone else to get the same result. And I think that's a gift. I think if you have a child that's kind of struggling, think about that's their superpower. They're going to learn to overcome things so much better than anyone else who it's just easy for them. I do not give up. If everything is figure outable. I think there's like a quote, like everything is figure. I love that one. It out, if something's hard, I break it down into the smallest bits and just figure it out one step at a time. I do lean a lot into my meditation practice, breathing and being in nature as much as possible. I know for a fact that fear and anxiety cannot live in the same space as gratitude. And
That's
so
right.
if I start getting in my feels,
That's
I
right.
start spiraling, then I look for the tiniest things I can be grateful for in that moment. And it shifts because it has to. You can't be grateful and fearful in the same,
Agreed.
mindset.
I
So
agree.
I just was so grateful for the opportunity to take something that was in my head and bring it into real life.
Yeah.
And I could see so clearly what Subtle and Sass was. I a big believer in just envisioning. And whenever I would envision the store, it wasn't the cute clothes. I would see the clothes bright, but what I saw, I have this big table in my store where we host a lot of community events. And my vision always was two women holding hands across the table, be connecting. It was the connection. That's what drove. And so our very first event that we ever had, I think it was a vision board workshop around that table. And I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what makes me happy. I want to put you in a cute outfit, but I want you to come here and I want you to connect and fall in love with not only yourself, but the people around you and life, so.
And I will tell you that your events are really the only reason I go out at night. And I bring Shannon with me.
Yes.
And she never knows what she's like, vision board making? I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, what? And I'm always the one that goes in with like, maybe not the best.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Shannon, will you come to the sound bath with me? She's like, Nicole, I don't even like sound. I don't know.
I did draw the line at that. I never
Yeah.
did make it to
That was the night it was raining. It was pouring raining. And it was
pouring.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I mean, talk about an empty cup, but if you go to an event that you put together at Subtle and Sass, that fills me up.
Oh, that makes me feel really good.
It really, really does. And when I see those, whatever it is, I'm like, yes, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in. And also, I have been to one of your meetings for SWELL.
For SWELL, yeah.
Which I think I couldn't attend the next one, and then I kind of got lost in the shuffle, but I can't wait to go again. Can you kind of tell the listeners about SWELL? Because I think it's really special.
SWELL is my baby passion. Maybe it's my other little box that I'm going to unwrap one day.
Oh, you are.
I'm getting it out. SWELL is short for Soul Wellness. So SWELL, Soul Wellness. It is this dream of bringing women together to have more in-depth conversations and connection. We meet twice a month, but we meet and we talk about a topic, something that's hard, like overcoming fear, right? We always do a short meditation and a journaling prompt. I envision it someday to be almost like this, SWELL studio, this mindfulness lounge, this place where women can escape and come and enjoy the meditation pod or these group classes or journaling pod, a place to escape to. And there's a lot of focus on our physical wellness, but what about our soul wellness? So that's our SWELL. I do have an Instagram for that one, but I haven't put a whole lot into it because I'm focusing right now on Subtle and Sass, but it's
because
there.
You're one person.
I know.
You're a business owner. You're a mother.
It's there.
You have
there.
so much going on, but you really do. You're such a gift to our community.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's interesting because I'm so grateful that you push me to these things because it's such a good reminder as humans. We need to take the steps to better ourselves and make, maybe something feels uncomfortable, but push past that because something really beautiful could come out of it. So thanks for always pushing me.
I mean, whoever thought that when we went to that vision board making, that you and I would be sitting here now with you.
It's pretty amazing, actually.
I'm curious about what was on your vision board. Do you have it? Do you do you remember what some of the things you put on it?
Well, I was really big into remodeling.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so a lot of home stuff, but I do have it. It's on my desk. I don't know that I've kind of meaningfully looked at it lately, but I need to. Do you have yours?
I remember mine was, I think I just had Matthew.
Mhm.
Correct. So I wasn't feeling super comfortable in my own skin.
Mhm.
And so mine was a lot about my own physical journey of sort of getting back. Mine was a lot about
yeah.
getting back. It was like weight loss and just feeling healthy. I think
Right.
for me, I've had a shift of, it's not so much about like being skinny. It's about being strong and feeling good in my body and being able to take care of my children. So mine was a lot about that, about sort of my physical strength.
Yeah. Well,
I had
think
someone
that's a good
come
one.
to that workshop, and she just told me the other day, because that was a while ago.
Mhm.
It was 2
She-
years at least.
Yeah, she told me the other day that she happened to find it and realized that she had planned years ago to quit her job at a certain point and be able to do something else with her life, but she'd forgotten about it. And she found it the other day, and it was literally a couple of days before she was able to quit her job and do her new passion. So it was funny because she's like, I hadn't even seen that board in 2 years, and now I am actually at the moment that I put on the board. I was like, oh, see, you put it in there, you put the seed in there, and it'll.
Yeah. They say to set it and forget it. Like, put the intention out there and it will come to fruition.
Yeah.
I love all manifesting and all that stuff.
Well, I believe in visualization so much, and I do with both of my stores. I've had a very strong visual idea of what it is, because our brains are filtering out so much information that if you have a clear picture, it's going to help you get there.
Right.
If you, the red car theory, if you say, I want to see a red car, well, then you're going to start seeing red cars, or I want to build something and I need a coach. One of my best stories was I really wanted to take my kids to Disney. It was kind of a gift to myself and the kids after working so hard at a certain point. And I was like, I decided I want to take my kids to Disney. And no lie, the next woman that booked an appointment with me was a Disney planner. And I didn't know this. I didn't know this when she booked with me. And I asked her, oh, do you have any fun trips? And she's like, I'm going to Disney. And I said, oh, I would love to go to Disney. She's like, I'm a Disney planner. By the end of that day, we had the trip planned. And a month later, I was at Disney with my kids for the most magical trip ever. It really was. So
what a great memory.
Yeah.
I love that. So now you don't have just one. We have 2 stores.
2 stores.
And you're still doing style boxes?
I still do style boxes, closet makeovers. We do the rentals now, which has been huge.
I mean,
yeah, I'm so excited to see where that goes.
Me too, because a lot of the times we buy clothes, we wear them once, you have somewhere to go, you want something new for church or whatever the occasion may be. So it's nice to have that option instead of, I like that it's coming to your store and not just rent the runway,
right. And you're also like size inclusive as well, right? Which I think is really important. And I appreciate that you said before that was always something that was really important to you. And I think that's
because, it's really important to me when women come together, they can shop together. And I've had women in my store in tears because she can shop with her friends, because maybe she's a plus size and she's never been able to shop in the same store as her friends. Or if it is in the store, it's a little section in the back.
Right.
And we mix everything in together so that everyone gets the same experience of shopping together. So it's really important to me.
What a powerful, just the way you set up your store. Like you're right. It's not, this is the separate plus size section. Like,
right.
That's really powerful.
Yeah. Just making everyone feel important, I think, is what your mission, like what you're doing is just making everyone feel important and seen.
Because we forget it. Other people tell us that we're not, or other people have an opinion on what we are and who we are and how we are and all that. But we are important. We're worthy, and we forget it. So I'm here to remind them.
Well, and it's a beautiful reminder because, like we said, with your journey, when you're a kid, it's your parents' voice. Then it was maybe your husband's voice or your kids' voices or just that mom voice saying you're not enough. But now you found Renee's voice.
Yes.
And look at how you flourished.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
It really is.
Such a good reminder for all of us to go after. Don't bury those dreams. Don't bury the box.
Listen to the voice. Get quiet, though. We can't hear our voice. We can't hear our own voice if we are in the noise. If we're in the noise of life, we don't sit down, try to get in a peaceful place and hear the voice. I had the voice telling me for 2 years to leave my marriage, and I argued with it. Oh, I can't. I mean, it was so clear. Leave. It was powerful. It was strong. It knew. And I argued with it. No, I can't. I'm too scared. What am I going to do? How am I going to afford to stay? What if my kids are not safe? For 2 years, I argued against that voice. And now I don't. Now I know when my voice says, we're going for this, we're going for that. So,
wow. I love that.
Yeah.
And I hope that everyone listening too hears that message loud and clear. Listen to that inner voice because it's very powerful and it's there for a reason. Yeah.
It's really powerful because it is easy sometimes when you're going through life and going through your day to day and feeling like you're in survival mode all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to let that voice be heard.
Yeah.
Great. So many amazing reminders that you're sharing, Renee. It's really, we just appreciate you taking time out of everything that you have going on to share with our Mom Come Village, because I think we all need to, we talk about all the time, Nicole, that it's important to put yourself first. And that doesn't make you a bad person, and to stop with the guilt of all of that, but really listen to your own needs and wants, because when you're a better version of yourself, you're a better version of the person that your kids see, that your partner sees, whatever, your friends, whatever it might be. And we can get so wrapped up in the chaotic nature of all of it, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Yeah. Me too. I'm like, describing our life right now.
It's so true.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I'm just proud that my kids get this version, because if the version I was when I was married with them and trying to be a people pleaser and a fixer and all the things, oh gosh, I would never want my kids to have that version of me. And now I'm so proud. As hard as it is, sometimes I'm so proud that they get this version of me, the one that makes the mistakes but gets up and figures it out, the one that listens to my own voice and tries, to just follow that. And so,
one thing I love following on your Instagram, well, there's many things, but the two that come to mind, I love how you love the outdoors and nature.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I need to be more like that because
as I was burning leaves yesterday, I was cleaning my yard up yesterday and burning leaves.
But you'll be out there like building a new deck or in a tree house. And I'm like, how does this woman do it all? Like, here I am. I could barely make dinner. I don't even know. But then your son is this amazing cook. And I was like, how does he know to do that? He has a real gift.
Well, that's delegation, because we were talking about that earlier. And I know I can't do it all, and I don't want to do it all. And I want my kids to be empowered to take on responsibilities. Yeah. And if he says, I want to cook a steak, instead of me saying, oh no, he didn't know what he's doing and let me just do it. If I can let him learn, then he can cook steaks for us forever. And that's what, he loves cooking and making spices. And so that's his big thing right now.
I love it.
I feel like that's so many amazing takeaways from everything that you've shared. But this idea that sometimes the first time our kid wants to do something, we know it's going to be harder, take longer.
Absolutely.
They're probably going to make a mistake. But actually, the lesson in the end is so much greater. So take those extra... I guess I'm saying this out loud to remind myself.
Yeah.
Try it. You got to just try something new.
Right. And let them make the mess and figure it out, especially with his spices that he's selling. It's a lot more work on me at first. And now he's seen the benefit of it and is excited, and he's selling these spices like everywhere. He made the labels. He's done all the things.
An entrepreneur.
And if he wants money, then he's got to make it. And I tell my kids that Juna wants all these things from Sephora and Lululemon and all that stuff. I was like, well, you need to make some money. She makes bracelets to sell in the store. So I want them to know that if they want something, go get it. Like if you want something, you can create it and you can have it. You just have to put in the work to get it.
Yeah, that's really important.
It's a huge lesson.
It is.
So here's what I'm thinking. I think we should do a little rapid fire.
Okay.
Nicole has some questions for Renee.
Okay.
We do.
Just the idea is first thing that comes to mind, Renee, just that gut reaction.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'm going to start easy and work our
Okay.
way down.
Okay.
Coffee or matcha?
Oh, definitely coffee.
Oh, okay. Morning person or night owl?
I'm both. I'm forced to be a morning person because the kids' school schedules. Oh, we get up at 6 a.m., but I stay up too late watching Bridgerton. And
It's so good.
Yes,
Are you
it
watching
was
the
so-
new season?
oh, I binged it. I'm done.
I mean, I haven't had time. I'm like, I want to watch my show, but my daughter's been sleeping in my bed, so I haven't been able to watch the show. A group chat or one-on-one?
I love one-on-one. I have to mute all my group chats and I get in trouble because I'm like 10 days late on catching up. I'm one-on-one. Yeah.
I hate when you leave the group chat and they know you left.
Oh, okay.
Because I do that all the time. She's like, you left the book club? Remember that?
Yes, I do remember. You were in it for like 2 days.
I was like, what is this? I cannot.
I can't. Yeah.
Abort mission. Pants or leggings?
Oh, that one's tough. I can't. I'm going to say pants.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we have really comfy pants in the store. So they're kind of like leggings, but.
Me too.
Mhm.
I buy all my jeans
Yeah.
at your store. Most underrated self-care habit?
Saying no. Saying no. No, because I love myself and I care enough about myself to say no that I can't handle that because you're not going to get 100% of me. You're going to get 5% of me. And so I'm going to give you the gift and myself the gift of just saying no right now.
Yes, that's a good one. If moms could normalize one thing, what should it be?
That's it. And saying no. Let's normalize saying no. And it's okay to not have an excuse. Like,
That's right.
no. Yeah.
Just no.
I can't. I can't. I don't have the capacity.
That's a good one. Just say no, I don't have the capacity for that. A boundary you wish you set sooner.
A boundary I wish I'd set sooner. I learned boundaries from my former business partner. Because I gave all myself to LuLaRoe and growing that business, and I just poured everything in there. I thought boundaries were mean. I thought if someone said, well, I can't give to this, I'm going to give this. I thought it was being selfish and mean. So I think a boundary that I wish I would have learned earlier was that having boundaries is not selfish. So
it's a good one. All right. Let's do 2 more. One thing every woman should hear today.
I love you and you should love you. I mean, I love you and you should love you.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I love you too.
I know.
What makes a woman magnetic?
Going back, loving herself. When you stand in your true, authentic self and not worried about all the judgment, that's what puts a barrier up between us, is when I'm worried about what you're thinking and what you're doing, what I'm saying. If I truly stand in this is me, mistakes and all, then that's what it makes you magnetic. People gravitate towards that.
Yeah. Wow. I think this was magnetic.
Honestly, we cannot thank you enough for coming on. There are so many powerful moments that have come out of this episode. I usually like to end with like, what are the key takeaways? And it's the entire episode. You have said so many beautiful, helpful things that my hope is that everybody listening is going to share this and also just take on what you have said, because it's so important to listen to our own voice,
Right.
To be the person in charge of our journey, right? Don't wait for other people to make something happen for you. If you want something, and again, doesn't mean it happens overnight. I mean, I think that's such an important takeaway. As you said, it was 2 years of feeling a certain way.
Right.
It takes time. So we also need to give ourselves some grace. But I feel like for me, some of the things that I'm walking away with is betting on ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, looking in the mirror and feeling beautiful. Stop all the judgment. I think that's really important, because it's very easy to see this weird wrinkle that won't go away and to see certain things that feel different than they did. But you know what? We are really important, powerful people who are making a difference. And I just appreciate you giving all of us that gift of the reminder that we're really important and we're capable of doing really big things and cancel out the noise. And you said something too, and I'm going to get this wrong, that anxiety
and gratitude
cannot live in the same space.
Right. Right.
I mean,
So when you're full of overwhelm and everything's going on crazy around you, can you stop and be like, thank you, arms for, holding my babies tight. Thank you, body for just keeping me going. Thank you, this cool breeze. I mean, just starting to get into this mindset of gratitude as much as possible will help you calm that anxiety and around you.
Well, thank you for being here and for taking the time. And I think
thank you.
Your Instagram is probably the best place for everybody.
Instagram is pretty much where I post in my stories and
that's at Subtle and Sass?
At Subtle and Sass, yeah.
And obviously if you're local to Mount Pleasant, Charleston, you have 2 locations, which congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That's amazing. You're now off of Clements Ferry as well.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think one of the things Nicole and I we've been looking forward to sitting down with you because you really are just, your perspective is really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I think our mission is about being seen.
Yeah. And I see that so much through I've listened to all your podcasts so far, so I'm kind of fangirling myself anyway.
Thank you. That's such a big compliment.
And we've always connected over our personal growth, and some of the people that we follow and learn a lot about. So when I saw that you were doing this, I didn't know, you as much, but I'm like, anything you're on board with, I cannot wait to listen to. So
thank you so much.
I'm just so excited about your journey and like what you're going to do and how many people you're going to impact as well. So
yeah, that's the goal.
Well, and that's what you said this morning. We have this mutual, there's such a mutual mission. Mm-hmm. Just if one person feels seen,
that's right,
then we have done what we wanted to do.
And I think from doing this and watching footage of myself and kind of like aging and getting older, I'm much more critical of myself than I used to be.
Right.
And what I try to remind myself when I'm watching a video and I'm like, oh my gosh, why does my face look like that? I have to remind myself that it's not about what I look like. Mm-hmm. It's the message.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's making whoever is listening feel seen and heard and not alone in this journey of motherhood and life, because it's hard being lonely.
Right. And imagine if you were completely perfect, which you are, but like to someone else watching, they would feel like it's unattainable to do the things they want to do because they have to be perfect. We're giving people permission to be who they are by being who we are and accepting it. And judgment, when you look at something, say you got a wrinkle, you have a thought, that's a wrinkle, but then you attach the judgment, that's bad. So when we can separate the thought from the judgment of the thought, then that's a lot of freedom. When we can look in the mirror and say, I see wrinkles, and not have the judgment that that's a bad thing or even that's a good thing. It's just, it is what it is. And that's acceptance and that's freedom. So,
need to be
off
more
a little
accepting.
Tangent on that.
No, we needed to hear that. I needed to hear that because it's very hard.
It's very hard.
Very hard.
It really is. But Renee, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing your story so openly and honestly. I've said it so many times, but you're such a gift. So thank you.
Such an inspiration. Thank you. This was really meaningful.
Your journey is such a powerful reminder that reinvention is not failure. It's growth. It's courage. It's choosing yourself again and again, even when the path looks different than you imagined.
If you are listening today and feeling stuck, lost, or like everything is shifting beneath your feet, let this be your reminder. It is not you. It's the reinvention. And sometimes the hardest seasons are the ones that shape you into who you were always meant to become.
To everyone tuning in, thank you for being part of this community. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need the reminder that starting over is not the end. It's a beginning.
We will see you next time on MomCom.